Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. To us, OC stands for our community because we believe that our community is stronger when we come together. This is a bilingual English and Vietnamese program dedicated to educating, empowering, and inspiring our community. Today, we hope to inspire you to be more inclusive and also join kids in cosplay and bring so much joy to children of all abilities. Julie Yip kính chào quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV trong chương trình kiến thức y khoa, gia đình và xã hội. Chương trình OC Health and Education là chương trình song ngữ. Julie hy vọng quý vị sẽ tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình mỗi thứ ba lúc 7 giờ tối và sáng thứ tư để cho mình có nói về thông tin rất là quan trọng cho quý vị. Hôm nay Julie mời được hai người quý khách from Kids Can Cosplay. Trước nhất mình có Jay Holiday and T. Nguyen. Welcome guys to the show.
Thank you, Julie, and thank you, Little Saigon TV, for having us here today. I'm T, and I'm an active volunteer for the Kids Can Cosplay. I also am a graduate from UCI and have actually studied doing my minor in child development with working with kids and autism. So very happy to be here to work with you all and kind of share what we do for Kids Can Cosplay. And I would like to actually pass the mic over to James.
Hi, I'm Jay Holiday. I am the founder and president of Kids Can Cosplay that we founded in 2013. And I just have a passion for helping kids, whether they're on the spectrum, which a lot of them are that we meet, but also those that are disabled physically as well. So we visit kids that are in hospitals and sometimes those that are underprivileged. So we'll visit kids that are in shelters and, just kind of brighten their day, help them out. We do some education and we also just, give them entertainment and we give out gifts, as much as we can to help them out.
That sounds amazing because, as you know, April is Autism Awareness Month. And it's a month that we celebrate our diversity. So many times when we talk about autism awareness, people say, well, we're already aware about autism. So I know within the autism community, we talk about autism acceptance, autism inclusion, and then autism advocacy. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you, T, and also if you want to speak, you're comfortable speaking in Vietnamese too, is, what does autism and inclusion mean to you? And why do you do what you do?
I think when it comes to anybody who, I don't want to say suffer, but who is living with autism, there's really a high spectrum of that.
Yes.
We can actually be sitting next to a person that we know and we don't even know that they're living with autism.
Right.
During my time at UC Irvine and when I was doing tutoring with kids who have autism, I've noticed that you have kids who do not want to be around others and they want to be amongst themselves. There are kids who have a hard time just communicating on what they want and what they need. And then there are other kids who are very active and very social. Yes. So really understanding that whole spectrum was kind of like an eye-opener just for me, just to be around that. But I think as humans, we should just really be more kind and more inclusive in general, whether or not somebody's living with a disability or whether or not they're special in any way.
Right.
They're still humans and we all bleed the same color, right?
And then, a lot of times we don't know what people are going through.
Correct.
So I love what you said about just being kind, being compassionate and being available. Like Julie thấy đó là thi tới đây là Julie thấy rất là vui. Tại trong cái thời gian Julie làm việc với Jay Holiday, với làm việc với Kids Can Cosplay, Julie thấy là Jay là một người president rất thương mấy em đây mà rất chịu bỏ nhiều sức, nhiều thời gian với even bỏ ra tiền túi của mình để cho giúp rất nhiều em. Julie thấy lúc mà thi tới đây Julie rất là vui tại Julie chưa gặp một người Kids Can Cosplay mà người Việt Nam. So Thi làm cosplay là mấy năm rồi để cho về cái hội đây?
Thi làm cosplay hơn 25 năm rồi.
Oh.
Trước khi Thi có gặp Jay.
Mà cosplay là tiếng Việt Nam là mình nói gì là hay là mình giảng chút cho khán giả hiểu được không?
Cosplay tiếng Việt Nam mình không có cái chữ cosplay nhưng mà là một người thay đổi cái áo quần và giống như cái khuôn mặt của mình cho cái character trong cái hình ảnh hoặc là cartoons and stuff like that để mình giống như pretend to be that person. Mình dẫn dò là mình người đó. You know? Rồi mình gặp mấy em bé này hoặc là mấy sinh viên con nít hoặc là you know different like patients and mình là người ấy luôn. So Thi nhiều lần Thi làm Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman is very sought after and asked by kids. Có nhiều người biết this character very well, and so when you're dressed as a character, you have to really play the part. You have to really take on the persona, and a lot of times you have questions of can you fly, you know, and mình có thể
mà Thi là làm cosplay là mình bằng áo Wonder Woman ha, mấy cái character nào mấy em thích. Mà điều lúc mà Thi bận quần áo thì mình phải vô cái character, mình phải làm giống như cái người đó mà mấy em á tin tưởng mình là cái người đó luôn, phải không?
Đúng rồi, mình phải nói chuyện giống như người đó, mình phải dẫn dò là mình có mấy cái super power giống như người đó luôn. Và nếu mấy em bé hỏi câu hỏi gì mình phải dẫn dò, mình phải biết trả lời như sau.
Yeah. You know, Jay, I was asking her that, you know, like, what does it feel like to do this? And what does kids can cosplay in Vietnamese? Because, you know, in the Vietnamese community, we're just who we are, right? If I'm Julie, I go as Julie. And oftentimes I'm just that working lady. We identify ourselves as our profession. Like, I'm a doctor, I'm a therapist, right? I'm a teacher. But a lot of times, the Vietnamese community, we don't really think about going into costume per se, right? But I know what you do with Kids Can Cosplay, it's all free to the community. Yeah. You're helping the kids. And what she's saying is that when they're in character and they're in costume, they themselves believe that they're that character, and the kids really interact with them. So I want to ask you that, you know, as a nonprofit, how do you stay open? How do you get the volunteers to participate and bring so much joy to the community?
Well, she explained it very well in regards to the words, you know, cosplay. It's broken up into two words, cosplay, meaning costume, and you act as the character, like she said earlier. And that's what brings out something that most people aren't normally that type of person. It just brings out, you get to be a character that you get to see on TV, and you get to act like them. And cosplay has gotten really big over the last, I'd probably say 10 years. Before that, a lot of people wouldn't know what's cosplay? What is that? You're dressing up, and that's kind of weird. Now it's
because we usually think adult. I mean, like dressing up is for children.
Yeah, and they think of it as only for Halloween.
But so kids for Comic-Con as well. Yeah, I think about Comic-Con is actually a very huge industry.
So cosplay is throughout the year.
It's throughout the year, especially like T was saying at Comic-Cons. Yeah. You know, San Diego Comic-Con's one of the biggest one, but here in Southern California, there's Comic-Cons going on all the time. Like almost every few months, there's going to be a convention, and there will be people there dressed up to, you know, celebrate their favorite Marvel hero or video game character, Mario, you know, all different kinds of characters, and they get to do that. So what I started to do was, you know, 10 years ago, I would bring my kids dressed up as characters, and I would bring them to a convention or to Free Comic Book Day and bring them to a comic book store, and they would be in character, and they would have all kinds of fun being that character in front of other people.
I want to ask briefly, because we're going to go to commercial break soon, why is cosplay important? Because, you know, when we talk about OC Health and Education, why do we bring you here? How does that help with health and the well-being of humans?
Absolutely. A lot of people don't realize that cosplay is actually mentally healthy for people to act as a character. We have seen a lot of kids that when we teach and educate about what cosplay is, and they put on that character, their favorite, Spider-Man, they are able to be outside of themselves. They might normally be introverts, and now they're able to be extroverts and be a superhero and be the hero they want to be. And they just have so much fun embracing this character that they get to watch on TV, be a real hero, and they get to be that.
But also, I was just going to say, but also if you think about the receiving end for the kids, they don't recognize and know who we are,
Uh-huh.
but they know who these special characters are on
Yes.
screen. So they
So
can
it's from
relate.
familiar.
They can be like, oh my gosh, you're my superhero. I want to talk to you. So
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I think,
Sure.
what you're reminding us that, cosplay is important. It brings a lot of confidence. And that what you said is comfort and familiarity. And I really appreciate all that you both do in the community. So we're going to go to a commercial break.
All right.
But after the commercial break, we'll definitely learn more about Kids Can Cosplay and how people can join.
Sure.
yes.
Julie, cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV. Sau phỏng vấn cáo, chúng tôi sẽ tiếp tục nói chuyện với Kids Can Cosplay, Jay Holiday and T. Nguyen. Cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV.
Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. Today we have the great pleasure to bring with you, to introduce to you Kids Can Cosplay, the president of Kids Can Cosplay, Jay Holiday, and T. Nguyen, a very dedicated community servant and leader in the community. Because, a lot of times when we are here, I always want to share with the community and introduce the community who you are. But, we got the first segment, we got a little opportunity to learn about who you are. But now I want to know a little bit more about the organization in which you represent. I'm going to start with you, T. Because, when Jay sent me the information about you, he said you're part of Go Green Dress. And so we can, our audience can follow you on Instagram at Go Green Dress, or go follow you on Facebook for Go Green Dress Adventures. I know my daughter makes fun of me all the time. She goes, only old people go on Facebook, but I go on Facebook. So, that's what I want to ask, what is Go Green Dress?
Yeah, thank you so much, Julie. Go Green Dress is basically a kind of a movement I did, focusing on travel and empowering really women to travel and explore on their own, and to also just like stay beautiful and just kind of like get out there, right?
So very inspirational.
Yeah, and I do try to share positive messaging, travel tips and stuff like that. It is an Instagram account full of pictures of just my back in a green dress in remote places.
Wow.
Beautiful places.
I actually backpack and trek all over the world and do multi-day trekking. I travel all over the world. I've been to 6 continents multiple times. And so it's just a way for me to just share my travel, I guess, adventures, but also to encourage people who are uncertain of like, do you travel on your own? Like, what do I do? How do I plan? How to prepare? I always get questions, why Go Green Dress? I think that's kind of like, come on, T, tell us more.
Uh-huh.
So the Go Green Dress aspect around that is really just, I found this dress at a thrift store, and I thought it was so beautiful because it's emerald colored green. Oh. And I decided that I'm going to start wearing this in these remote places. And the idea of it is not to look at me in the picture, but to look at the surrounding. And so your eyes actually tend to follow towards that, and then it kind of just expands the pictures from there. But, my work with Kids Can Cosplay is something that I've been doing as a cosplayer for over 20 years. And I think having to meet these individuals and seeing the expression and just the excitement when your character walks through that door is really, it brings so much joy to me as a volunteer, for sure.
Well, thank you so much. Because, when I asked about Go Green Dress, because like, how does that relate to Kids Can Cosplay? Now, that really explains everything. Like, Julie thấy lúc mà mình mời Jay với T lên show, Jay nói là, T có một cái website là cái Instagram handle là Go Green Dress. Mà Go Green Dress là cái áo màu xanh, phải áo đầm màu xanh.
Đúng rồi.
Mà điều mình nói là tiếng Việt Nam, mà tại sao mình kêu là Go Green Dress, tại cái lý do là sao?
Lý do là tại vì cái áo đầm đó là màu xanh, xanh lá cây trước hết. Và trong cái tấm hình là mình mặc cái áo đầm đó, mỗi cái tấm hình mình chụp đó là mình chụp ở đằng sau thôi. Và cái lý do cho cái đó là cái áo đó là made out of silk. So mình có thể travel với cái áo này very easily. Mình cuốn lên thành một cái chiếc banh là trần này ha. Rồi mình đem mình đi khắp nơi khắp nước để travel around. Và cái áo đó chỉ có một cái áo thôi. Thì sau này mình đi về Việt Nam mình sẽ may cái áo khác, tại vì cái áo đó nếu nó bị hư hay là bị mất thì mình sẽ không có nữa. Nhưng mà chỉ cái áo đó tại vì hồi trước đó là Thi có kiếm được cái áo này trong cái tiệm thrift store, and sau đó mình nghĩ là cái environment aspect để encourage mấy người focus on environment and be environmentally conscious, rồi cái green behind it, and green cũng là màu xanh lá cây á, là cũng là giống như đi cái màu đó là go, like a red light, green light, green light là go, right? Green là environment as well, so like it just makes sense.
So cái Instagram này là hy vọng mình làm cho mỗi người phụ nữ có tự tin hơn về chịu đi travel. Thì trong tháng 6 Julie ráng đi xong Đông Cave, and I really never traveled by myself, so I'm kind of excited. And
Julie cho Thi đi được không?
mà Julie hy vọng là Julie hiểu thêm mà có thời gian theo cái công việc của Thi trong Go Green Just cho mình có nhiều cái inspiration, với mình cũng theo dõi cho mình hiểu biết chút.
Yeah,
because Jay, I really love what she's saying, because I really want to understand my guest who's coming here, because she's telling me that Go Green Dresses, it's a movement to appreciate the environment, but also to inspire others. Now, your work with Kids Can Cosplay inspires so many people. Tell me a little bit about why you found this organization, and how has it grown since that initial day?
It's very interesting because I have kids. I had two kids. They're adults now, but 10
They'll
years
always be your
ago,
kids.
they'll always be my kids. 10 years ago, they would dress up in costumes, and I'd bring them to conventions.
Yes.
And they got to a certain point to where my daughter said, that would be great if we can use our cosplay to help kids that are in need. Like maybe we can visit kids in the hospital and stuff like that. And I go, that's a great idea. What would we call our group? And they go like, well, Kids Can Cosplay, as well, because we cosplay, and we want to teach them how cosplay is mentally healthy to do. And we want to encourage and inspire and motivate. And it was my kids' ideas. And so I started to meet some people like T in the cosplay community, and said, hey, we're going to go visit these kids in a hospital or a homeless shelter, or we're partnering with a community that's working with kids on the spectrum. We want to bring characters out there for the kids to meet. And that's just kind of how it started in 2013. And we've been growing and helping so many kids all over Southern California. We service LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, all the way down to San Diego.
Wow. That's amazing. And now, is there a website that people can learn more about Kids Can Cosplay, or Instagram or Facebook?
Yes. They can go to kidscancosplay.org. That's our website, where not only can you go and see all of the stuff we do and our events that we have that are coming up, but also how to volunteer, or if people want us at their event, they can request our services. Since we're nonprofit, we don't charge for anything. There's no fee. Nothing like that. All of our services are completely free because we're geared towards helping the community.
So with the namesake, kids can cosplay too, not just adult volunteers.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Kids can definitely cosplay. And we have some kids that join us at some of our events to help inspire the kids.
We actually encourage, like some events, we encourage parents to bring their kids and have them dress up as well.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thưa quý vị khán giả, hôm nay Julie hiểu thêm về công việc làm của Jay Holiday, là người president của Kids Can Cosplay. Kids Can Cosplay là một hội phi lợi nhuận, là non-profit, giúp cho rất nhiều trẻ em. Chừng nào trẻ em bệnh ở bệnh viện, ở trong homeless shelter, hay chừng nào mình có con ở nhà, có ngày sinh nhật mà cần họ tới, mỗi lần họ tới là miễn phí hết. Đây là volunteer. Chừng nào quý vị muốn ủng hộ, hay lên website hiểu thêm là www.kidscancosplay.org, hay mình follow trên Facebook hay Instagram cũng được. Tại Julie thấy rất là trong công việc của Julie làm OC Autism, lúc mà Julie có bữa tiệc giống như Breakfast with Santa, hay mình làm Strawberry Festival Special Needs Day, là một ngày đặc biệt cho để dành cho mấy trẻ em bị tự kỷ được enjoy cái festival, thì Julie cũng phải lên website bấm lên tại thông tin của mình là cái event của mình là ngày nào, mình cần mấy người tới volunteer, and then cái giờ lúc đó thì nào quý vị thấy con mình có thể bị tự kỷ, không có bạn tới, có thể mình liên lạc Kids Can Cosplay, họ sẽ coi có thời gian họ ủng hộ and giúp quý vị. I know that I, with my work through OC Autism, have gone at that website many times. And I would say I have an upcoming event. Can you join us? Sometimes we have 5 people come. Sometimes we have 20 people come. So you really never know how many people can come to your event. But we always know it's always a good time, Jay.
Yes.
You know, so thank you so much, T and Jay, for putting your heart in the community. I want you, T, to, speak directly to our audience and invite them to come to the website or join as members or even contribute. What's the message that you would say to our audience today?
I think giving back to the community is something that we should all aspire to do if we can, whether that is in person, donations, volunteer. One of the funnest thing about dressing up and being a different character is you can step outside of your element. So I implore you to please come join us. Be any character you want. Imagine spending all that money on your Halloween costume and being able to reuse it over and over again. So contact us at Kids Can Cosplay and come volunteer with us because we would love to have you.
Well, thank you so much, T, for inspiring and giving that important message and the invitation. I think a lot of times, when someone watches the show, they might be reluctant to call, or they're like, oh, that's a good idea. But hopefully this will be a call to action.
Yes.
And that they'll, as soon as or maybe while they're watching this show, they can, but Kids Can Cosplay, check you guys out on Instagram, follow you on Facebook for those of us who are older, or just go on the website. But thank you so much for all that you do. After the commercial break, we'll share with the community more on the importance of why this is so important for the mental health, mental wellness, and also bring autism awareness to the community. Julie cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV. Chừng nào quý vị muốn theo dõi chương trình về cái công việc của Kids Can Cosplay, website là kidscancosplay.org. Mình có thể theo dõi họ trên Facebook hoặc trên Instagram. So, sau phần quảng cáo, chúng tôi sẽ tiếp tục nói chuyện với Jay Holiday and T Nguyen để cho mình biết rất nhiều thông tin về cái event họ có trong năm. Cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV.
Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. I'm your host, Julie Yip. For April Autism Awareness Month, we're going to continue to introduce to you all the amazing people that serve the community to help bring autism awareness, acceptance, inclusion, and advocacy. Today, we have Jay Holiday to share with us the importance of why we need to do Kids Can Cosplay and cosplay in the community. Julie muốn cảm ơn quý vị khán giả đã theo dõi chương trình kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội. Một lần nữa, Julie muốn giới thiệu cho quý vị Jay Holiday. Jay Holiday là người president của Kids Can Cosplay, là một trung tâm phi lợi nhuận giúp cho mấy em để cho mình có một cái niềm vui. Lúc mà Julie làm việc từ thiện thì Kids Can Cosplay luôn luôn tới ủng hộ, đem rất nhiều character giống như Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, với mấy cái character có thể mình cũng không biết mà mấy em biết hết. So many times when I see the Kids Can Cosplayers come to my event, I don't know all the characters, but the kids recognize them. And something that I think is so obscure, the kids are so excited to see because they're such unique costume, Jay. I know just before the commercial break, T was able to invite our community to come to the event and volunteer as Kids Can, as cosplayer. But you mentioned that there are other opportunities to help Kids Can Cosplay. So can you tell me how we as a community can help for you and your team to continue to serve?
Sure. Not only do we use cosplayers, people that dress up in costumes, to help do what we do, but we need volunteers. We need helpers that want to come help us set up for the event that we're doing.
Okay.
They help us pass out food, toys, the gifts that we give out. So we need non-cosplay volunteers to help with that. We look with people that have certain talents, whether it's photography, videography, face painters, anybody that has any talent that can join us at our events to make it more lively and more beneficial for the kids that we do as well.
Now, again, what's the website? How do they get this information?
Sure. So you can go to kidscancosplay.org, and there you'll see a volunteer section. When you go there, you can see all the information on how you can volunteer and how you can sign up. There's no membership, there's no fee, no requirements. It's just all based on whatever available time you have to help out for whatever events we have lined up.
And I love what you do, Jay, because it's always an all call out, and we never know what to expect. And I mean, I'm overwhelmed and floored with gratitude for how many people do show up to our events.
We have about, I want to say about 250 volunteers that are with Kids Can Cosplay all over Southern California. And when we tell them we have an event going on, like April is Autism Awareness Month.
Right.
We are super busy, this month.
There's so many nonprofits and other that you help.
There are. We are partnering with so many to where we have 2 events on the same day in different locations, and we have so many different volunteers. Some will go over here on a Saturday or a Friday, and some will go over here. So we need a lot of help, people that want to help do what we do, and they just go to our website, and that's how they help.
Okay.
We also have a lot of events like during the week as well, and a lot of times we can't accept those events because we don't have the manpower behind
That's true.
it. But I think one of the good things that Jay is really great at doing is he communicates with the volunteers as to, hey, we have this event coming up in a month, or we have an event that's coming up in 2-3 months, like who's available. So then we just kind of like sign up and fill our calendars with it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity also to serve and to give back. Thưa quý vị, nếu quý vị muốn ủng hộ Kids Can Cosplay, xin lên website là www.kidscancosplay.org. Họ luôn luôn cần cái sự ủng hộ về cái donation để cho vẫn tiếp tục làm cái công việc đây. Tại lúc mà họ giúp là từ ở Lod, ở OC, Orange County, ở San Diego, ở Riverside, rất nhiều trong cái thành phố trong Southern California. Mà mỗi công việc họ tới, lúc mà họ tới nhà quý vị, họ tới mấy cái trung tâm mà có nhiều tổ chức á, thì họ tới là miễn phí hết. Mà họ phải cần rất nhiều người. Hiện tại Kids Can Cosplay có 250 người volunteer, mà họ vẫn rất cần nhiều người volunteer. Không phải là mình có costume mà mình phải tới volunteer. Mình có thể tới là mình sắp xếp bàn ghế cho họ, hay chừng nào giống như Julie làm OC Autism cái Breakfast with Santa, mình tặng quà cho mấy em, thì mình cần rất nhiều người giúp đỡ. Chừng nào quý vị có thời gian thì quý vị xin lên website để cho theo dõi họ, hay mình lên Instagram hoặc Facebook, thì họ cần rất nhiều sự giúp đỡ. Chừng nào mình thấy con mình có ngày lễ nào, hay mình có cái hội từ thiện nào còn họ tới, mình lên website mình ghi danh cũng được. Giống như Thi nói là không phải là mình gọi lần mình ghi danh là họ tới được, tại cũng có lúc rất nhiều chương trình trong trùng một ngày thì họ tới không được, mà Jay rất làm để nhắc rất nhiều sức về công để cho sắp xếp được. Thì Julie thấy đó là Jay là có rất nhiều cái tình niệm vui cho mấy trẻ em đây. So hy vọng quý vị luôn luôn ủng hộ họ. Jay, like I said, I believe you have the biggest heart of any leader I've seen in nonprofit. And I'm getting emotional because so many times I'm overwhelmed with OC autism. I can't believe it's grown as big as it has. But with growing this big, I have growing pains. And so OC Autism was founded, I think, like 13 years ago. And it was just me and my practice with kids with autism and disability that come to my clinic, and people don't invite them to events because they don't want them to come over and break their stuff at home, or Vietnamese American families don't want to be a bother, so they don't go out for Christmas. So I realized that a lot of our Vietnamese families weren't taking their kids out. So I started this small little Christmas party, Breakfast with Santa, in my office. And I was a first Santa. I literally went to a Target, bought a costume for like $50 or $60. I still put on my eye makeup. My hair was long. It was sticking out the back of the costume. We're laughing. The kids thought I was Santa, sat on my lap. And
so
it brought so much joy.
Basically.
That's what it was.
You cosplay as Santa.
But 13 years later, Kids Can Cosplay is our crucial and necessary partner in OC Autism. Really, without you, Jay, sometimes I wasn't going to have a Christmas party. Sometimes we need Santa Claus, and Jay's like, Julie, don't worry, we'll bring one for you. And even Little Saigon as a TV station, Jay was able, through Kids Can Cosplay, brought a Santa Claus to Phước Lộc Thọ.
Yeah.
And to be part of this Christmas event for our community. So Julie thấy đó là Jay có cái lòng rất là lớn và thương mấy em, và không phải là thương em không mà thương mấy hội của mình. Tại mình có rất nhiều cái khó khăn để cho mình giúp trẻ em, mà mỗi lần Julie cần cái gì, bất cứ cái gì hết, không phải là cosplay không, là Jay là luôn luôn ủng hộ giúp Julie. Là Julie không sometimes thấy mình không có đủ sức, tại mình mở like 13 năm trước mình có cái trung tâm là speech therapy clinic giúp mấy em bị tự kỷ hay mấy em chậm phát triển, mà Julie thấy là người Việt Nam của mình không muốn làm phiền. Mình thấy là con mình bệnh, mình không có muốn dẫn tới nhà ai hết. Mình sợ nhiều người không có muốn mời gia đình mình tới, tại sợ con mình bị tự kỷ nên đập phá. Thì Julie thấy rằng Julie phải mở cái Christmas party nhỏ nhỏ thôi, có thể 30 người tới trung tâm của mình thôi. Mà 13 năm sau á, mình có 5.000 người.
Wow.
And then mình tặng 1.500 quà. Mà Jay giúp Julie rất nhiều. Và mà Julie thấy đó là không phải là kêu mấy người cosplay tới volunteer, mà cũng giữ cái tinh thần cho Julie. Là Jay là cái người bạn rất là dễ thương. I think you're like one of my best friends, Jay.
Oh,
And
same.
you're truly
Same.
my angel. I'm getting so emotional trying to tell people what a great human you are.
Yeah, she's just raving about you.
You know,
I mean, in case you understood that.
You
I
never
do a
want
little bit, I do a
to
little bit.
tell people how great you are, but I know you're too humble.
I have a hard time saying no when people are requesting us for their events, because
Yes.
I know what we can bring that's going to help those children. So, you know, I want to do as much as we can for as many kids as we can, because it's so rewarding for them. So,
I feel like when kids are involved, how do you say no?
right?
You know, because when you see that look in their face, that's it.
Oh,
I'm done. Okay, what do you want?
No matter how tired we are, Jay and I and all of you, we always make time. So, you know, I just want to encourage the community one more time to continue to be a part of Kids Can Cosplay, whether it's just to follow you on Instagram or see what the great things you do on Facebook. But really, I really want to encourage the community to donate to Kids Can Cosplay. Because, you know, this is not a show to tell you to support Kids Can Cosplay. It's really a show about supporting kids, period. So Kids Can Cosplay is an amazing organization that helps kids of all abilities. So Julie thấy là you know, quý vị có chút thời gian hay chút tiền muốn ủng hộ Kids Can Cosplay, quý vị sẽ nên lên website kidscancosplay.org để cho giúp Jay và mấy bạn của Jay làm rất nhiều việc có nhiều ý nghĩa về trong cộng đồng của mình. Julie cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV.
Chương trình này được bảo trợ bởi
Family Joy, tổ ấm y tế của mọi gia đình, 714 898 0765.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the OC Health and Education Show on Little Saigon TV. It's with great pleasure for me to introduce to you my friend, Jay Holiday. I call everybody my friend, but he is actually a real friend. He cares about me, he checks on me, and he always makes sure that I have the energy to continue my work with OC Autism. Julie thấy đó là bữa nay Julie có một cái thời gian được giới thiệu cho quý vị Jay Holiday. Jay Holiday là một người rất là dễ thương, thương cộng đồng Việt Nam của mình, thương mấy trẻ em tự kỷ, mấy em khuyết tật, mấy em nào chỉ bệnh mà cần cái sự giúp đỡ, một cái niềm vui để cho họ cười thôi. Thì Julie biết là trong năm á, là Kids Can Cosplay có rất nhiều chương trình mà mỗi tháng nào cũng có việc, mà không phải là mỗi tháng, mỗi tuần, và không phải là mỗi tuần, mỗi ngày, có thể 2-3 chương trình mình phải tới volunteer. So, you know, Jay, you may or may not understand what I'm talking about, but what I was saying is that there are so many events that you have throughout the years. And it's not just every month, it's almost every week. It's not just every week. And within a day, you have 2 or 3 events that you have to do. Now, tell me, let's start with the beginning of the year till Christmas. Give the audience a glimpse of what are some of the major major events that you partake and that your team takes a part
sure.
in.
So, you know, within the year, we do about 40 events.
Oh my gosh,
That's
40.
a lot.
There's only 12 months.
I know. There's just
4
so many,
major events.
so many people to work with, so much
Okay.
to do, so many families to help in the communities.
But you have a daytime job too?
Yeah, I actually have a daytime job
So this is
as
just
well.
a side gig.
Yeah.
I don't see it as a side gig. It's also my 9 to 5. I put in as much effort into this as I do my regular 9 to 5 work.
This is why we need volunteers
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
Jay take it off the plate.
I've been told to sometimes let it go because
Okay, Elsa.
yeah, I'm sometimes Queen Elsa. I got to do it all. But there's just so much to do, and we're just so busy. We partner with obviously OC Autism, several times in the year that we do.
Yes.
We partner with churches, libraries, schools, hospitals. Like Kaiser's one of our biggest supporters. So we help Kaiser Hospital when we go visit the kids that are in the hospital. We partner with other autism communities.
Yes.
TACA is one of them that we partner with. We partner with Autism Society Inland Empire. We partner with them. And we just did one last weekend out at UC Riverside that we partnered with a group to help autism families. And yeah, we're just so busy. We have a lot going on.
Well, I know that there's about 40 major events within a year. I know that you cannot always be there physically. So you mentioned that there's a YouTube channel that you do, and then also virtual visits. I know, like during the pandemic, Jay, you and your team were doing it via Zoom.
So we were hit pretty hard by the pandemic because we bring the characters out to the events.
Yes.
When they shut everything down, we came up with the idea, well, why don't we have our characters go on Zoom and do virtual visitations with these kids that are at home? So we were visiting kids in the hospitals using Zoom. We are visiting kids at home. Our services are free. If your kids have the special needs or, meet our requirements, we'll come and we'll do that virtual visit where they get to meet their characters, and we'll put on a little skit. We even had a celebrity that's part of Kids Can Cosplay. He's an actual Power Ranger on the TV show.
Wow.
And one of the kids got to meet him on a virtual visit. And the kid was just stunned. He would just go like I'm meeting the real Power Ranger. Brendan Mejia, he's a great guy that supports us a lot. So virtual visitations. And now we have a YouTube channel because there are opportunities we can't be everywhere. So we have.
So how do we find you on YouTube?
You just go to Kids Can Cosplay and you'll find us. And we have story times where characters are reading books to kids. And a lot of schools and libraries use our videos inside their classrooms and inside their educational rooms that they have at the library. So we're still helping even though we're not there.
Oh wow. TV Jay nói rất nhiều cái chương trình trong năm là có 40, at least 40 cái event mà quan trọng nhất, mà cái event lớn là cũng rất nhiều cái non-profit. Jay giúp về mấy non-profit có từ mà giúp mấy em tự kỷ, giống như Autism Society of Inland Empire, TACA, Hội OC Autism, rất nhiều bệnh viện, Kaiser. Thì Julie thấy là Jay phải làm rất nhiều cái công việc đây, mà mình thấy là trong cái mùa Covid á thì mình đâu có được tới gặp mấy em, thì cũng có cái chương trình là lên Zoom. Mà điều Julie muốn hỏi thêm về cái Jay nói là cái YouTube là có cái gì?
YouTube có mấy cái video là mình đã record trước like pre-recorded.
Mình thâu trước hả?
Thâu trước rồi.
Okay.
Và nếu người nào cần mình tới mà mình tới không có được á, mình có thể share cái link này để cho mình có mấy cái character đọc sách và đọc vở cho mấy em in character. So he cũng có participated in Reading Across America.
Okay.
Là cái event đó là mình tới trường học, mình đọc cho mấy trẻ em cuốn sách hoặc là 2 cuốn sách trong mấy cái lớp. And so ở trên cái YouTube channel nó có cái pre-recording của mấy cái story time này.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that, Jay, that you guys have so much available, whether it's in person, virtually, or on YouTube, where families can access it at any point.
Absolutely.
And to see the kids can see their favorite character, and and when you can't personalize it, you guys do, and I love that.
We do. There's times we've done personal videos for kids that are on the spectrum or those that are disabled physically or they're ill. We would do a pre-recorded video saying the kid's name, letting them know and cheering them up, and we're excited, that they're doing well, and we encourage them on. And, it could be a 5-minute video or a 30-minute video, whatever the family feels that the kid needs. We do those as well.
I know, just only OC Autism alone, when we do the Memorial Day weekend for the Strawberry Festival, Jay is with me for at least 3 or 4 events that we do. And we're on Thursday, we're at the Special Needs Day for the Strawberry Festival, where before the Strawberry Festival opens for the community, it's only on Thursday for all kids with disabilities from the Garden Grove School District. And then I think on Saturday, we're doing the parade together.
And the carnival.
And then on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we have the carnival. And so OC Autism has a booth here. So, I mean, just OC Autism alone, in that one weekend, I'm requesting 3-4 days or more of Kids Can Cosplay. And I feel so, I feel like I'm taking too much. But I know that, you know, I got to a point where I learned how to ask help, Jay, you know, and I just want to say thank you for this partnership, for this friendship. As we close out the show, I just want to say you guys are angels. You guys are a blessing. And I think all kids and all the families that are touched by your work really needs to be a part of it, whether they want to volunteer, give back, donate, or just our audience to be here. So as we close out the program, is there anything, Jay, that you want to say directly to the kids that are watching, to the families that are watching, or to the, you know, potential supporters that are watching today?
You know, people that are on the spectrum, they have great imagination. And for them to want to meet a character or to be the character they want to do, regardless of their age, they can be adults and be on the spectrum and still want to meet that hero that they want to meet. Let us know. We would love to come and help out. We love to partner. If you want to join us, we have a lot of people that are part of our group that are also on the spectrum that have autism, that are part of our group, that are cosplayers. They get to come out too. So if you want to join us, kidscancosplay.org, hit that volunteer button, fill out the information, and we'll get you connected.
And don't forget to donate too, because, you know, we need the money to continue, Jay. I think a lot of times it's hard for us to ask, but we're not asking for ourselves. We're asking for the kids.
I'm not a rich man, and this is a 501c3 nonprofit, so we only survive on donations. Or if we don't get enough, then I come out of my own pocket if I have to. But we have a lot of people that love to support us, and with us being so busy for Autism Awareness Month, we have about 7 or 8 events just for this month.
Wow.
We can use support, whether you come out or you donate to help us do what we do. We can really use it.
Thank you. T, last words as we close out.
Yes, of course. First, Julie, I want to thank you for your service to the community.
Oh,
I know we sit here, we talk about Kids in Cosplay, but we really have to thank individuals as yourself who's bringing awareness too. And I know that we're focusing on Autism Awareness Month, but really, Kids in Cosplay is there for the whole year.
Yes.
Year round, focusing on many, many causes and many, many events that are happening throughout the year. And as a volunteer, you know, I feel very fortunate to be here. So thank you to Little Saigon TV for having us here today. Really encourage anyone who with any special skills, whether you're a photographer, a videographer, makeup artist, you know, you want to bring smiles, you juggle, you do magic, join us. The ability to just have someone come up to you who has autism, who's like, you are my favorite character. And then 2 seconds later, you are my favorite character. And then just follow you around. It really just brings a smile to you. So we take all types of cosplay, whether you're a princess, a prince, or like you want to be a superhero. There's always a lot of requests. So thank you, and please join us.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm sure you guys will be back on. Julie, cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV đã theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội. Một lần nữa, chừng nào quý vị có thời gian, có chút tiền hay mình muốn ủng hộ hội Kids Can Cosplay, xin lên website www.kidscancosplay.com. Họ làm rất nhiều việc trong cộng đồng để cho giúp mấy trẻ em, cho họ có một cái niềm vui. Chừng nào họ bị tự kỷ, họ bị khuyết tật, thiếu tật, họ có thể họ không có bạn tới birthday thì quý vị liên lạc họ, họ có thể giúp quý vị. Julie luôn luôn cảm ơn quý vị khán giả của Little Saigon TV đã theo dõi chương trình Kiến thức y khoa gia đình và xã hội, và chúc quý vị rất nhiều sức khỏe và may mắn. Cảm ơn quý vị.